Hello there, friends. Today we're going to discuss 9 Victor Wembanyama rookie cards from the 2023 Panini Prizm set card number 136. I'm going to share with you all of my custom price guides, the comp sheet that I put together. So we have the base set. We've got green prism, blue, yellow, green, silver, pink ice, hyper prism, blue ice, blue prism, blue seismic pulsar as well, and we're going to discuss what all of these cards are worth. They're all going to be in a raw format. I took 15 recent comps, plugged them into this custom price guide comp sheet generator, and these are the numbers that they spit out. We're going to talk about average winning bid. We're going to talk about fair market value, first, second, third offers, and what I would sticker these cards at myself. So let's dive into it. First, we're going to talk about this base set card. I'll put a little bit more time into this card to explain these numbers, and then everything else will go really fast. So bear with me on this first card, please. First things first, we've got our 15 comps on the right-hand side. We had a low of 73.11. We had a high of 88. That's a 20.37% swing, low to high. If I'm looking to trade a card, I generally look at a swing between 50 to 100% because that'll get me closer to the 80% offer as a max that I typically like to do, okay? This is a raw card. If you're going to use any of these numbers, this isn't a PSA 10, this isn't a PSA 9, so the consistency in the card is variable, right? That means I want you to use these, if you do use these numbers, only use them in person. That way you can get your hands on the card, you can look at the condition of the card and buy the best one, okay? Now, we have seen this card, the submission rate, climb significantly as of late, which tells me that PSA right now is kind of burning through those initial submissions and really making progress on getting these cards back to people. 4,305 have been submitted for this card. 2,750 have come back 10s. That's a 64% rate of return. That is impressive. That is pretty consistent right now with all of the newer cards that Panini's been putting out. We're seeing a lot of 50% and above, which means you probably easily get your hands on a 10 here without a huge markup if you can. Now, average winning bid is in the blue. That's 78.67. That's the average winning bid of these 15 comps. After sellers pay their fees, they're bringing home about $67.95. That's what I consider to be fair market value. I, however, like to get in a bit lower. So we have our offer sheet, 70, 75, and 80%. Blue, or green, I should say, is 55%. That's generally my first offer. $59. Did I say 55%? I meant $55 is my first offer. 59 is going to be my second offer at 75%, and 80% is $62.94. That's usually my final offer. I also like to double check that my offer sheets fall within that bottom third of the market. That's where I like to buy. So 65, 63 or less would be a purchase of a card that's in the bottom third. This number happens to be much higher than the 80%. Because of that, I'm staying strong at 62.94 and just going to continue my hunt until I find a good-looking card at that price or below. If I want to sell in the top third, which is generally where I like to be, I would sticker it at $69.97 or more in order to fall into that top third of the market. Now, I'm not afraid to put cents on my sticker because it says that I did my research. I think that's important. If I were just to put $70, that can kind of come up as just sort of an arbitrary number, and it doesn't give you as much bargaining power when people want to come in and get it at a lower price. I'm not saying I'm not going to move from that number. However, adding 97 cents on there shows that I put some thought into it. Okay? Now, let's move on to the next one, the green prism. As you can see, we've got 108.58% swing on this card, which probably means that I might be able to get a lower than 80% offer if I'm purchasing. So low, 150, high, 316. People, again, are looking for that perfect card, and that's why you have that variability, and that's why you have to buy these in person, in my opinion. So 514 are the submissions, 268 is a 10, have come back 10s, 52% is that rate of return, again, over 50%. Average winning bid, 247, average seller take-home, 214, first offer at 173, and the bottom third of the market is at 181, which falls between the green and the yellow. When this happens, 181.88 becomes my final offer. I don't go up to the 80%. I'm not even going to go up to the 75% in this case. 181 is what I'd be working my way up to if I was trying to get my hands on this card. Sticker, if I want to get in the top third, is 244.34. Next up, blue, yellow, green. This is a cool looking card, I'll say that. But this is also the card I'm not touching. Beyond the ones that are going to be over that $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 mark, I'm not in on this card at all because look at this graph. Man, oh man. That's a red flag for sure because we don't know where this thing's going. Also, another red flag is look at the shipping. We've got a lot of $30 shippings, which means we're seeing a lot of these coming from China. So keep that in mind. That probably is slowing down the PSA submission process as well. We've only seen 11 of them go into PSA. The fact that I was able to find a full comp sheet on this, that all happened within less than a month, and there's only 11, that tells me there's definitely a lag in delivery from these coming from overseas. So $8.95 was your average winning bid. First offer, $7.76. And bottom third first offer, is at $6.27, and bottom third is $6.98. I'm not getting anywhere near that because even though that bottom third is at $6.98, the most recent sales, $6.40, $7.70, and that's before you take out those 13 to 15%. Maybe in a month or two, once this card settles out, once more PSA 10s come on the market and things kind of get tighter, maybe I'll be in on it, but I don't know. Give me 2 or 3 months because I feel like that's what it's going to take before we see this graph and this trend settle to where it needs to be. I'm not in on this card. I repeat. I'm in on this card, though. That's for sure. Much like everybody else in the world, this is the card I'm hunting personally. If I see it, I'm trying to buy it. So this is the Silver Prizm. On average, the winning bid is $754.40. And it looks like first offer is going to be $528. Bottom third of the market is $628. And I'm going to look over here and you're going to see the reason why. That swing, 37%. Again, that's below the 50% that I'm looking for. And usually when that happens, it means your bottom third of the market is going to be higher than the 80% as it is here. As is, I'm staying strong at $603.52 as my personal final offer on a perfect card. It's got to be perfect for me to be spending $600 on it. Top third of the market, if you're stickering, $649.46 would be what I would be doing. This is a card, along with the green, that I'm definitely looking for. Another one that I find intriguing would be this pink ice. One of the most intriguing things about it is this 82% rate of return. So far, 100 submissions. That means 82 have come back perfect. We've got a swing of 29.64%. That probably means we're going to have a hard time getting in anywhere below 80% offer. On average, winning bid $332. Seller take home $287.91. First offer is going to be at $232.56. And bottom third of the market lies outside of that 80% offer at $276.43. I'm standing strong at $265 for this card, and then stickering at $303. This is interesting. I'd probably, if I saw this in the wild, I'd probably be willing to easily go at that 80% just because of this rate of return for a perfect 10. I think it's a cool looking card. I think it has staying power. It's just a matter of finding somebody who's willing to trade. That's basically what it works out to. Next up, we have the Hyper Prizm. This is a silver kind of looking card. Just has sort of some texture to it. I was surprised that we're coming in at about half of the price of the regular silver for this card, but I mean, I guess it makes sense. The rate of return were a little bit lower on that PSA 10. People like the classics, right? And I think as far as what they look for in rookie cards, obviously they look at the base as being that true rookie card, and then right now they're viewing that silver as being, that most consistent step up, and that's why they're hunting that. Now, we're not looking at the Hyper as anything important on this, unfortunately. 62.5% swing means that we're probably going to be able to get a decent price on this. $369.13 is going to be your average winning bid. $319.92 is going to be your seller's take home. $258 is first offer, and $290.31 gets you into the bottom third. That's going to be less than that 80% offer, so it becomes my final offer, $290.31. Top third sticker at $351.04. Next up, we've got the Blue Ice. I was only able to get 5 comps on this one, so doesn't really tell you too much about it, but right now, average winning bid, 4,312. 3,740 is going to be net seller take home. Not even going to go over the offers because, well, frankly, I don't want you to use my numbers to spend $4,000. Figure this card out on your own, as well as this Blue Prizm. Again, 3,525 is going to be your winning bid. 3,057 is seller take home. First offer, 2,467. Yeah, don't use my numbers. Figure this one out on your own. And last but not least, the same thing can be said about the blue Seismic Pulsar. 3,780 is your average winning bid. Seller take home, 3,279. And first offer, 2,646. Not a card I'm in on, but there's your numbers just in case you are. Hopefully this all helped you figure out what your Victor Wembanyama rookie card was worth. If it did, please let me know down below.